I'm Kemdi Ugaji, and I'm a junior.
I'm Anita Obodo, and I'm also a junior.
I'm Vineka Chabadera, and I'm a senior.
I'm Jared Crooks, and I'm a sophomore.
I'm Catherine Welbeck, and I'm a senior.
Davion Chisholm, senior. I definitely think you stand out because of your race. It's like, I had a class with someone and they made the comment that, like, I think we can live colorblind and not see someone. It's like, wait, so when you see me, you can tell me you don't see a black female in front of you. And it's like, no, you may not treat me differently because of it, but you definitely see a black person.
Things have definitely changed from an alumni's perspective to now, and I think a large part of that has to do with the administration.
Administration, like, you can go right now and say, oh my gosh, my professor made this very rude comment or whatever. And the school will have a mediator, and they'll come and talk to you about it. It's not going to be oh, you're sensitive, let it go. It's going to be something in which they do try to move things forward and make sure everyone's on this campus knows and understands that this is their school. They have a right to be here, and they have a right to, if they see something that makes them uncomfortable, they do not like, they have a right to speak up and be heard.
People who came before us really blazed the trails for us to be able to do such things as, like, join, the film organization, or, just join other cultural and ethnic groups just for the fun of it. Just being comfortable, being able to do that.
People come and you do whatever you want now, and it's so funny to realize that all of this is so new. This is less than 5 years old.
Yes.
And you're like, what? Definitely not. There's some places in which your race matters so much. And here it colors some of your interactions, but I don't think it's everything I try to do is blocked by my race.
I definitely don't feel as if it's oppressive. I don't feel as if I'm being watched all the time. But like, for instance, in dealing with people in my classes, they won't go to me to discuss the problem. Instead, they'll segregate themselves among they'll talk amongst themselves, and I'll just be left with me and another guy from Kenya. So it's really like
I think there's more ignorance than anything. Like, definitely people will say some really, really random comments, especially in class, and you're just like, oh, okay. And then what sucks is that you're always like, okay, I have to be the black voice. If you're the only black person in the class, you're like, okay, again. Excuse me, no.
I think there's an issue with that, though, maybe here, like, about black people thinking that it's one voice for everyone.
Exactly. Like, it's not as monolithic.
I actually think it's more the administration does that, like, labeling of, like, the Black Student Union. I was involved with it, and it's like, the administration, when another group wants to do something, the administration's like, oh, you guys are going to collaborate. We're like, no. The Caribbean connection is different. Like, yes, in America, you're all labeled as black, but you have to understand, like, Aquaba and African students have a different issues than Caribbean students and African American students.
I think it's generational because here now, I think black students are about 10% of the population. And so, like, I think we're probably at our largest. And so we're able to say, like, I'm African American, I'm African, I'm Caribbean, I'm black. Like, we were able to make those distinctions because there are enough of us.
And I think that's progress, being able to differentiate between, all people of black identity. Because, back in the day, they used it for security measures, or just like for family bonding or just to be together. But it's progress.
I still think, though, there's black unity. When it's necessary, when it's needed, there is this black voice that comes together.
I think it comes from an individual point of view. Like, if you saw an image of slavery, like, you as an individual, like, proud black person would have something to say about it,
Like, your individual response that sparks it, but then having, like, the Black Student Union or the African students or the Caribbean students, that kind of gives people a forum for which to voice that. Because if it's, we all have been in a situation where you're thinking something and no one raises it, and someone raises that exact question in class, and you're like, oh, thank gosh, because everyone is thinking the same thing. And it's the same way, I think, when you see, like, disturbing images or that kind of thing. So then it's really helpful to have these voices, like, as representatives. So.
And I still think there's an issue now, though, that people question, I guess, like, Black Student Union and things like that, because they're like, why is there this need still for this one group of black unity when you guys should be completely integrated? Just because you are a part of this does not mean you exclude yourself from everything else. And even if you're not a part of it, does not mean you all of a sudden are not black.